In this talk, we document users' perceptions of manipulation in digital products through a mixed methods study. My name is Colin Gray, and I'm presenting on behalf of my co-authors, Jingle Chen, Shruthi Chivukula, and Liyang. Discussion about tech manipulation is everywhere. Manipulation defines many of our experiences as a consumer, including subtle nudges and overt advertising campaigns that seek to gain our attention and money. With the advent of digital services that can continuously optimize online experiences to favor stakeholder requirements, increasingly designers and developers make use of dark patterns, forms of manipulation that prey on human psychology, to encourage certain behaviors and discourage others in ways that present unequal value to the end user. Highlighting the user perspective of felt manipulation, the contribution of this paper is twofold. First, we document the felt experiences of manipulation shared by users of digital products, providing a new perspective on dark patterns that relates to user trust, designer intent, and public policy. Second, we describe users' perception of the creator of manipulation, including the projected role of socio-technical ethics and designer responsibility in the creation of manipulative technologies. In the paper, we address three related research questions. What makes digital products feel manipulative to end users? What emotions do end users relate to past manipulative experiences with digital products? And how aware are the users about the creation and creators of manipulative technologies? We used a mixed methods approach, collecting user responses through a survey study and a follow-up interview study with interested survey respondents. We collected data from English-speaking and Mandarin-speaking users, seeking to problematize the notion of manipulation across cultural and geographic boundaries. We deployed a 22-question survey that included a mix of multiple-choice questions and open-ended questions to allow participants to illustrate their felt experiences of technology manipulation. We received 169 complete responses with a diverse range of participant demographics. Building on our results, we conducted 15 to 30-minute semi-structured follow-up interviews with a subset of survey participants to capture descriptive accounts regarding two questions. Why do you think somebody created this manipulative experience? And how do you think the designer knows how to persuade you to act in a certain way? We used a mixed methods analysis approach, including card sorting to qualitatively analyze survey responses for open-ended questions, descriptive quantitative analysis to analyze choice or scale-based questions relating to emotion and the creators they felt were responsible, and qualitative case analysis to present examples from interview narratives as a source of data triangulation. We present a subset of the findings in this presentation, but refer to the full paper for more detail. Overall, our participants were highly aware that technology can be used to manipulate them. 79.3% of survey participants were aware of being manipulated by technology, and 89.3% of participants identified that they mistrusted their interactions with websites sometimes or more frequently. Only 27.6% of end users felt that they were valued as a person in their tech experiences. During their daily interactions with technological products, participants shared a range of areas that impacted this felt manipulation, including distrusting the digital product, feeling concerns about the privacy of their personal information, knowledge of being tracked without explicit notification as part of a larger big data threat, identifying barriers to feeling secure, being aware of explicit manipulation tactics, and the use of freemium products. As one example, users perceived manipulation in relation to a lack of privacy as they interact with digital products. When a digital product demands or collects a user's personal information in an aggressive way, users may feel that the product is challenging their privacy in a manipulative way, complicated by instances where users cannot even comprehend, quote, why does the digital product need my info? Requests for sensitive information that it signaled manipulation included a mailing address, contact information, a personal identification number or social security number, and payment-related information. Some Mandarin-speaking participants also mentioned a concern about phishing websites, which often brand themselves to look similar to another trustworthy website and lead users to input sensitive information. Building on the previous theme, users' concerns about the potential threats of big data in relation to privacy concerns and data collection were also a common way that users perceived a manipulative threat. Instead of emphasizing the collection of information that users deemed sensitive, this theme focuses on how users perceive the tracking of their interactions with digital products and how product stakeholders may use these interaction data to achieve business goals without explicitly notifying users in ways that felt manipulative. For example, results may be based on a user's interests rather than the keywords that the users input, which causes, quote, an inaccurate result of search. Additionally, a Mandarin-speaking participant indicated that the search results were all related to a specific media platform owned by the largest Chinese search engine, Baidu. Unsurprisingly, these perceived experiences of manipulation triggered a range of negative emotions, including feeling distressed, upset, hostile, irritable, among others. Using a cross-cultural card sort, we identified instances of manipulation along a continuum, from initial impressions of a product to extended use and interaction with the product. First, the initial judgment was where the user used their intuition to recognize that something appeared to be wrong. Specific details about how content was displayed was often the focus of users after their initial judgment. The presence of advertising in particular brought additional scrutiny. Experiencing and identifying felt persuasion was another determinant for users not to trust a technology, indicated by extreme statements or content with strong biases, such as obviously twisted and misleading information. These three elements form the impression stages of interacting with the technology. Now we move to the user's conclusion from these impressions. Users were able to evaluate the technology after initial interaction, reaching a general conclusion of negative sentiment after interpreting its usability and usefulness. After more in-depth engagement with the digital product, users tended to feel the product was manipulative if something undesired happened when they were trying to accomplish a specific goal. And some users only realized that they were being manipulated after interacting with the technology for a period of time, after experiencing negative consequences, or being harmed by interacting with a manipulative user interface. These latter three elements form the conclusion stages of felt manipulation. When asked about who the users felt was to blame for the manipulation they experienced, participants most frequently blamed the designer and other stakeholders, with less frequent targeting of the end user themselves. Users blamed the varying creators, designers, developers, and other stakeholders of smartphone applications and websites. In these overlapping responses, 14% of users blamed all of the creators of these digital products, 71% of the users blamed only designers and company stakeholders, and the smallest number of participants blamed only the developer of the application and website. From our follow-up interviews, we noted a range of manipulative concerns. Amy talked about getting trapped in an auto-subscription model of a product she found through Facebook. Liu has increasingly recognized the gamification of various components in the Kubu fitness application that she uses to step for cash. And Wang has been concerned about enabling phone permissions due to his fears of being tracked and potentially manipulated by others. We will briefly describe more of Amy and Liu's perspectives. Based on her experience, Amy believed that designers have total control over what users see, and as creators, they have got pressure on them to produce customers, so they've got to do whatever they can to make it work. With these business goals in mind, the designers are not thinking as much about others as they are thinking about themselves. This manipulative intent and the justification Amy intuited from the designer's perspective made her feel that the creators were valuing her for her money, but not for being a person. Liu expressed strong feelings toward Kubu's creators, saying that its creators are abhorrent, and she mentioned that it was hateful when designers and stakeholders make business decisions based primarily on financial incentives. Therefore, they were willing to enter gray areas of the law and take advantage of spaces where there's not a lot of regulation in China for technology manipulation. On the other hand, Liu blamed herself for not being careful, because it was she who wanted to use the application and make money through Kubu in the first place. Based on our findings, we identify two large areas of connection to prior CSCW scholarship, with substantial opportunities for advocacy and regulation. First, we noted strong connections between participant experiences of manipulation and broader notions of dark patterns that have become ubiquitous in regulatory and design contexts. In particular, the temporal progression of manipulation allows for further investigation of dark patterns as they are experienced over time, framing manipulation in relation to digital systems in ways that could inform a system-level assessment of dark patterns' prevalence in social computing systems. We question what as a research community we can do about the broad base of mistrust of digital technologies and what users can do to better advocate for themselves. The temporal progression framework we provide in this paper may be an important first step in empowering users to name, recognize, and take control of their digital experiences. The more precise vocabulary we offer may also allow regulators to identify and characterize certain strategies as suspect, potentially manipulative, or illegal, knowing that many companies might not have interest in changing practices on their own. A shift of language may foreground capitalist goals as being focused on persuasion in the best of cases, manipulation in typical cases, or coercion in cases where there are no alternative options, allowing users a more expanded vocabulary to link their feelings of unease with possible design intentions that could eventually lead to regulation. In closing, I would like to acknowledge the support of the National Science Foundation, and thanks for watching.